And welcome back to the Nose Plays Age of Wonders 4. We're already on part 7 of Loyalty is Its Own Reward playthrough with Lionel Johnson. And we had a little bit of excitement in the last episode. We finally started a war with Mr. Moleman himself. This wizard king of some cat folk, brutal cat folk. He's a mole wizard king. Demonic warlord. We're trying to free the mole people from his evil clutches. And so we are currently in the process of absorbing or vassalizing this throne city. Or I'm sorry, no, not the throne city. His northern territory, Cragwell. We plan on sending our armies down to the throne city and hopefully taking the mole man out himself at the same time, which will remove him from the game. However, I did notice during the animation cycles of this very cool worm-looking thing moving around that he does have another city down below. I don't see his character down here, though. And it's unlikely that he would be. It looks like he does have a hero down here. But he himself is not down here. So it's very likely that he's defending his throne city. If we take the throne city and we take him at the same time, again, he'll be out of the game and we can move on to our next objective. So let's go ahead and get started. I believe we were ready to wrap up the intern when I did the quick save, so let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, okay. This might be him here. Yeah, that is a problem, and that is exactly what. Go figure. So you may remember at the end of last video, I had some hesitation about extending myself into the fog of war for this exact reason. Because if there are any armies over here, they could very easily pick us off due to the fact that we're really, really injured. Well, I don't really have much of a chance here, but the only chance we have is to manual combat this. The AI is just going to get completely wrecked. And I guess our goal is to cripple them as much as possible. But we are outnumbered so severely that I don't know how that's going to happen. Well, we fell for his trap, ladies and gentlemen. I should have fallen back to the city and healed up, waited for my reinforcing army. This is definitely going to delay our playthrough a little bit because it'll take us several turns to get our hero back. The only thing that we might be able to do is retreat this army, but that's difficult. I'm going to go ahead and set the combat speed to faster here to speed this up a little bit. I'm debating whether to try to retreat. If we retreat off the field of battle, all of our units that flee will have a chance of respawning back at our capital city if they make it out. I do believe they also have a chance of deserting or just dying. And there's no good way of telling what's going on until they either pop back up or they don't. So I've had this experience once before. So if I call for surrender, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try and kill their wizard king, who is supposedly in this army somewhere. I don't see his icon. I thought I saw the wizard king. I don't even see a hero icon. Let's go ahead and give it a try and see what we can do. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is definitely take advantage of some of this terrain. And I'm going to want to get as many heals off as possible, which means we need to heal this turn so that I have it back up. Our hero is really, really hurt. Alright, we can end the turn like this. Boost everybody's morale. They've consolidated that army into one large group. Maybe it makes sense for us to move over here and try to engage this. I don't know. These big battles get really, really messy. You wouldn't think that 18 units was a lot to control on the battlefield, but you have to remember that Age of Wonders does battle differently than almost every other game I've played, in that there's no set turn order or initiative order. It's literally, I have access to 18 units that can all move interdependently of one another. So a lot of games have this, but it's all turn-based. It's like you take all the actions for a unit and then you move on to the next one, the initiative order. Endless Legend does that, and a lot of other games do that. Or you take control of a unit and you use all of its actions before you move on to the next one, and you can do that in any order you want, and that's also pretty common. This game, you can literally move a unit one tile and then move everybody else, and then move them another tile, and then move everybody else, and then move them another tile. And so the order of which actions and movement take place is incredibly complex in this game, and in some cases is very critical to your strategy. So for example, our strategy is often going to be making sure that units have moved together so that our buff spells and our stand together adjacency bonuses are active before we take our actions. And that just provides a lot of complexity to your turn, and the more units you have, the more complex that can generally get. This only has a 1-turn cooldown, so I might as well go ahead and cast it because it does stack. And then decide if we're going to move up at all or just sort of sit here. There is a nice rock formation here that we can maybe use to split their forces a little bit, or at least provide us some cover from flanking. So I think we're just going to move everybody over here, obviously, except for the unit that cast his thing. We do have a limited number of casting points too. Interesting. Alright, well, step one is going to be move this guy this way. I think we want to get like back here on this hill. Cool. Alright, so who do we have that can... Alright, that foliage is going to be a good spot to hold up some defenses, but man, there's a lot of ranged attackers there. Once we're in that spot, we could be in a lot of trouble. Our hero definitely doesn't want to be that close to that many archers. We definitely would prefer to get rid of this unit if possible. So this is one of those situations where if I group my units up properly in this early stage, I can get a good cast of this off. Just keep retreating him to the back line. And he'll be able to get in here and help heal these guys here in a second. And then from this position, I think we're just going to have to go in and attack. So I want the weaker guy to be in the cover. So that he has some defenses against all the ranged attacks that we're likely to take. And let's keep our archers at cover as well. We'll see how that goes. This could be really bad. As long as they don't focus one character down at a time, we might be able to get some kills in, but there's almost zero chance we're winning this. It's taken our units, like every unit we had, to get this guy whittled down. What can I do? All right, so we have like a 90% chance of like pretty much decimating this unit with this archer being this close. We should probably take that shot. And then we have a pretty good chance of just outright killing it. I also have a very low chance of damaging this guy a whole bunch. Before I do anything else, he's not going to be able to make it. Okay. Well, I need to get him as close as I can so that he can potentially heal people. He does have a 30% chance to kill this unit, or a 70% chance to injure that one. I think we go for the 70% chance to injure. And then see if I can improve. Moving up that far kind of sucks. Okay, good. So then he can finish that unit off. wish my hero had a ranged attack at this point. I'm going to go ahead and cast Undying Loyalty on that unit. That's going to give him Steadfast. That'll give him a chance to potentially get back in this fight. I guess we'll just kill this guy and move him up. Get that in there. It's going to be a valiant defense here. Oh, okay, so I have a really good chance to cast this spell next turn. If I can move all the guys together, I want to try to get that off again. All right, let's see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, our hero might be going down. Yeah, we're just outnumbered far too much for this to ever work in our favor. Okay, so at this point, I can restart the combat, and we can just surrender and see what happens. But we're definitely losing all of our units, and we've only killed like 2 of theirs. So it's just not worth my time. So, no. Let's restart the combat from the beginning. And then let's immediately surrender and see what happens there. So the one thing that I want to do is group everybody up here. I don't know if this has any benefit. And then surrender and see what happens. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of us. Okay, we got a couple of units out. So I think we're going to be able to retreat all of our units, but again, yeah. So we lost 2 of our units, and then these 3 units are basically lost. If you've ever played Stellaris, when your units retreat in combat, they sort of get stuck in hyperspace for several turns. That's essentially what happens to these units. The downside is they're not even going to show up on the map, I don't think. But I think that's the best result we could have asked for. Losing our bannerman does kind of suck. So our ruler's in the void for 3 turns. Even though it's showing that we didn't actually die, which is kind of annoying. Being in the void also prevents you from getting any research done while that's happening. And also, if I go to my armies tab here, yeah, they don't even show up as like a stack. They're just gone. But they'll actually show back up. It would be nice if they still showed up here, but like with the little surrender symbol showing that they're basically lost for a couple of turns. So what will happen, if I'm not mistaken, and this is really confusing, is those units that showed the retreat button that weren't killed will show up at our city in like 3 turns. So around the turn that we get this hero back, they'll show up as well. And notice that now we have this territory. They have a couple of stacks here, but because we turn this over as a vassal, we get a hero and a bunch of tier 3 units to defend it. So it's actually really well defended against this trash. They're still outnumbered, but if they do try to siege it, we have an army that can come in and help. And another army that is pretty weak, but still helpful. Because we have another vassal providing us a lot of income, another thing to point out here is we're at over 200 gold per turn. This is too much gold per turn to be stacking. I like to keep it right around 100. And so what this means is we need to find ways to put more gold into armies, essentially. So we need to be building some armies. We've already got one started here. And we're getting some more draft. I could actually grab another tile, and I think we will. And I wanted to look here. We needed another forest tile, which I was going to grab up here. That puts us at 3 foresters. Most of the boosters go up to 3, so if you have 3 of every type of camp, including the special camps, that works out pretty well for you, and then we can start to expand into other things. This is really close to being done. I don't want to spend that much. I thought it was a lot less than that. Next turn, it's just going to have this little sliver. We'll probably pay gold to finish that off. This city, I could start another Glade Runner. Or... So we can see that stability is a problem here. We definitely should probably be building a stability building. Okay, so this building's going to unlock the tavern. I will go ahead and spend 100 gold to rush that, get that out of the way, and then let's get this up and then get the tavern up, and that's going to help dramatically with this. I think it's 20 points, so it'll put us back to even, basically. Okay, a city was released as a vassal. We knew that. Are they willing to trade us anything useful? Mana crystals for food might not be bad. We don't really need that many mana crystals coming in right now, and the food will help this city grow. Keep in mind, all trade goes to your throne city. It doesn't get sent to anywhere else, so... Other rulers started a war. Okay. So she's at war with him now, too. That's going to put pressure on him to move some of his units to deal with her. And we'll take a little bit of pressure off of us. This is now almost to the highest tier of vassalage. And we have a ton of Imperium at this point, so we need to start spending that Imperium. So let's go ahead and boost that. And then... because we have so much, let's see if there's anything in this part of the tree that's worth looking into. Cities may expand 2 tiles further from their center, so that's good. Sensing range is also good. Coast and river provinces grant extra food. Rivers count as road for the purposes of movement. This is one we definitely want to pick up once we're ready to start grabbing those tiles on the coast, which we're about to start doing. I don't need either of these at the moment. Vassals grant an extra 10 gold per turn. Our gold's in pretty good shape, and that's not important. So nothing really new here that's super exciting. But definitely a couple that might be good down the road. I definitely want to remember to come back and get this, just not right now. We don't have any of those tiles yet. This one could help with city stability in the one city, but I think we'll just hold off and get that building rushed with gold and other things. So yeah, as you can see, we're really kind of bottled up here, but I can definitely start grabbing these ocean tiles next. Alright. 2 turns of In the Void. This Silver Tongue fruit acquired. Okay. We could just clear these. And then I can't quite move into friendly territory, so we're just going to stay here and wait another turn to heal up. And then this scout, I was hoping to get close enough to see if his hero is actually defending his city. At the moment, it looks like his throne city is empty. There's an army over here. And that's a level 1 hero with a tier 2 stack. Okay, we can just barely get out of his attack range. Alright, well, an exciting but not very productive start to this particular entry into the series. Is this another free city? It is. This is some kind of an orc. Burly Looters. That means we probably have an orc player somewhere underground that we haven't met yet. Most of the free city races are going to be races of the, if not all of them, of the AI players. And I haven't seen an orc player yet, so there probably is one somewhere. Alright, he was able to get to us, darn it. The AI is smart enough to use their cavalry to launch attacks. Or maybe this skirmisher unit that they pulled from the city. Well, that scout's gone. Alright, we may want to go ahead and get this started now. We're a couple of turns away from getting back our hero. 1 turn away, actually. I probably should have done this last turn. But we can replace that bannerman. We can get a couple of these. And then a ranged unit. And maybe a second support unit? Ah, that's too much gold. Okay, so we're going to have to just go with this. This is going to use up all of our gold, but it's going to produce... Oh, I didn't even see that this scrolled down further, so there was a bunch of other weaker units we could have picked up. I guess I could get another archer. Okay. So that'll give us another stack to play around with. We won't have a hero to lead it necessarily, but that's fine. Okay, so this could be integrated. I don't really want to do that because I don't want to have to control it. But I am willing to take gold for food now. Alright, so he's got a bunch of armies out on the ocean here. I can't cast any spells for a turn. So the question is, how dangerous are these armies? These are the same ones we saw. They're mostly tier 1s. They're just a lot of them. Yeah, that's only 2 stacks, actually, and mostly tier 1. So this army should definitely be able to handle that. And then we have 2 more armies basically about to reform up here in the north. This is working on that, which we just spent all of our money to buy an army for. Can't do that. And I don't really need to rush another population at this point because we already have really bad morale, so... I don't think I'm going to move these units. I think we're just going to leave them here. Both of them can make it back. I guess I'll move her there. Both of them can make it back to the city if we need to. There are no walls here, so... Actually, maybe we should put some palisades up. I can't afford it. All right. Depending on the movement of these units. If a city doesn't have walls, they basically have no siege defense, and so they can be attacked immediately the turn the enemies show up. I do really like the way that siege is handled in this game better than most other games that try to do it. Very interesting. So I'm very curious why Mole Man pulled back his armies like that. It was very clear that he intended to move towards us and attack us by ocean. I'm wondering if the war with this other player, maybe he saw some armies over here and he's pulling them back for defense. The thing is, he's in my territory. And if we can start a fight with, say, this guy, we might be able... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. We might be able to wipe this army out, especially if we can get these guys to join us in a fight, which they should because they're a vassal. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, we can give them a Whispering Stone. We should look at our Whispering Stones real quick. We currently only have 1. Okay, I know what I want to do. I'm going to give a Whispering Stone here so that we continue to improve the vassalage. But then, in addition to that, I think... Did I already get this one? Looks like I already have it. I already have that one. Okay, I thought I could get another one. I was going to give a Whispering Stone to the city with low morale and try to improve its morale over time. But I can't quite do that at the moment. This one will be able to give up hers in 1 turn. Yeah, so in 1 turn, we'll get to the highest tier of vassalage, and we won't need a Whispering Stone here anymore. And I can move that Whispering Stone to the city with low morale and try to get that taken care of before that building gets built. Trade treaty has expired. We'll do that again. So trade some mana crystals for some gold. Our mana surplus is pretty high and I don't cast a lot of spells right now. And we can see that our hero and his army has recovered. They all have like 1 hit point. So they do come back when the hero comes back. So it's 3 turns. I wish that was more clear, that retreating units aren't dead, but they come back with no health. Now our hero has come back with full health, which is interesting. Usually when they come back from the void, they don't come back with full health. And I don't think we've taken any... empire developments or buildings or anything that improves that. They also have no movement. These 3 units have no movement anyways, so we're gonna have to wait here at least 1 turn. And we did get our Glade Runner. I think I would like to get a Knight. And we don't have enough money to do much, but I can go ahead and get this library. That's probably good for here. Let's take a look at this city. I wanted to get this done. Considered rushing that, but I can't. Can't build anything there. Yeah, we're gonna have to just wait another turn here. And I don't have any free Whispering Stones yet. We've already cast this minor race transformation. This minor race transformation only applies to the race that you pick when you cast it. And so we cast it on our Dark Angels, so all Dark Angels have this effect currently. But other races that we've picked up, like the Cat Folk, the Ogres, we could cast this again to apply the same bonuses to those races. And maybe at some point I'll show you guys how to do that. But let's go ahead and summon a wild animal to her army and get her up to a full stack. Yeah, we can't quite move, so... Okay, that's fine. End turn. I think we're going to recover quite nicely. Yeah, the AI feels like they're really confused with what they're trying to do here. So she's declared war on us now as well. That's fine. I wanted a war with her at some point, so... We have a lot of allies here, so we're getting a lot of vassals. This should be a slaughter. Huh. So I find it interesting that despite the fact that these vassal armies are in the combat, they're not participating. I'm going to go ahead and auto-combat it just to see what happens. It's not the most fantastic result ever, but we just lost basically 2 tier 1 units and a summon spell. Everything else did alright. A couple units leveled up. A hero leveled up. I think this is fine. I think we'll take that. I'm not sure that I could have done a ton better. I was fully expecting this army to participate, which would have made that overwhelmingly in our favor. I've got a little bit of movement, and I want to double check. We should be in friendly territory here. Yeah, we are. Okay. So we're definitely going to heal up. And then this hero leveled up, so we need to pick a new talent for her. She also got her tier 5 talent, so this is really powerful. Ooh, Master Rejuvenation. Friendly units in a 2 hex radius gain 10 temporary hit points. Summon Elemental. Summon a random tier 3 elemental unit. Yeah, let's go with that. Summons are really, really powerful. They don't roll over. All summon within a battle basically die at the end of the battle, but they provide a really powerful tool for just soaking general damage and everything else. And a lot of talents here. So if I'm not mistaken, let's see. If we scroll to the bottom, she's a melee fighting unit with Lord of Crops and True Sight and Vigor. Kind of a weird mix of spells. Pack Leader, not so good. Having the Stand Together trait would be pretty good for her, since she's going to be in melee with her frontline units pretty regularly, I would suspect. Let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, so now we've got the Ogre army, and we have the extra archer that I picked up. So this is 3 archers. I would love to have that bannerman. So maybe we trade places. So let's get this tier 1 archer over here. Get our hero there. Move the bannerman into the hero army. Yeah, this feels a lot better. All right, so we got a nice 10 stack here. I got a couple more units I could fit into this. I could use another support unit. So these are both fighter units. They're going to be good frontline units, but a support unit and then either another fighter unit or frontline unit might be good. Maybe another archer. Looks like I was making a knight, so a shock troop. That would be good to add to that army. So that puts 5 in that stack. The other thing that we could do is now that we have... I could integrate this city. If this war had gone a little bit more cleanly, I would say let's go ahead and integrate this city now. Take that hero, add him to the army, but because of our positioning, I'm not so sure I want to do that. This army is really well defending this area. Both these vassals are going to have a fair number of troops, and it would take me a significant amount of time to replace them. So all of these military units disappear except for the hero if I take over this city. However, this city, I could very easily take over, grab this hero, move him into the army, and then just start working on grabbing the rest of the stuff over here that he hasn't been able to pick up. This isn't what I wanted to ideally do. I was happy to just leave him as a vassal, but I think we're going to go ahead and integrate his city. We can make one of these characters. That's actually not bad. So we'll just make him the governor of the city. Let's go ahead and inspect the structures that they've managed to get done. So we're already up to tier 2 town hall. They've got walls. They've got most of the tier 1 buildings, but you can see they're kind of still pretty far behind in terms of where they could be. All right, let's get this hero over here and get him part of the army. So that's probably a good spot to move him to. And then we'll group those guys up over here in a turn. Let's see. Don't have any cheap buildings, don't have any boosted buildings. All he has is a single farm. So he's been going hard on the gold mines and the research, which is weird because I don't know how the AI gets spells in this game. In previous versions of the game, your heroes actually could become spellcasters, um, much like your hero, and they had their own set of spell points and everything else. In this version of the game, it seems like heroes never get those things. Perhaps the AI heroes, the throne heroes do, but the regular heroes don't. And so I'm not sure why rushing research is sort of a priority for a free city. That seems very odd to me. Yeah, I might have to look into that. We could spend 42 to grab another tile here and get a booster. So there's a gold mine here, and there's also a farm and a forester and a pasture here. Let's go ahead and grab this one with the gold mine. And then that should give us a booster on one of these buildings. Okay, cool. So then we could get that built and possibly that next. That looks pretty good. All right, we're coming up on an hour here, so my goal is basically within the next 15 minutes or so to try to take out this throne city with the stacks that we have. We did wipe out a good portion of his army. We are well on our way to being able to pull that off. I could also summon another wild animal this turn, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do, and then replace the one that we lost in her stack. Well, there we go. Yep. Okay, and we're in a pretty good spot here. So all kinds of treaties expired. The Whispering Stone returned. Okay, so now give this city a Whispering Stone. That's going to slowly build that up. And then get that tavern built. That's going to help a lot. So all these treaties expired. Yeah, all of those we can just skip. We finally got access to the Tranquility Pool, so now we have this bonus mana and knowledge. So that's a good little bonus. All right. And we don't have a ton of money, but I can go ahead and get this storehouse done, which just instantly completes it. I think it's under the hero tab. We don't have anybody in the prison, and we have one in the crypt. So enemy heroes that you collect after battles, either in your prison if they don't die, or in your crypt if they do, there are a couple of buildings that you can build that will give you a little bit of a boost and some more options. So heroes in prison gain you knowledge and can be converted or executed. And then the crypts give you mana and can be resurrected as an option. So they do come back as undead units, which is kind of cool. But I think we just produce the merchandise this turn because there's really nothing I want to work on, and I don't think either of those are really worth it. So if we had more bodies in the prison or the crypt, I might consider it, but yeah, go away. All right, there we go. End turn. So for being at war with us, she is definitely not making very many moves towards us, but she has a lot of armies. She's got a level 5 hero with Demon Step. It's kind of like a teleportation. Bunch of tier 1 units. Alright, another scout has bitten the dust. We might want to make a couple scouts. Engines of Awe. Alright, so builders from across the continent have gathered to marvel at the latest machines and inventions devised by the Dark Angels. We can sell for a bunch of gold. We can boost city stability at the Rock by 53. That's a lot of stability for 6 turns. Or we could gain a bunch of knowledge. It's just a single turn's worth of knowledge, basically. I think money is going to be the most useful thing because it's going to allow us to accelerate some of the buildings and things that we have. Alright, so this knight unit needed to group up with the one army. Alright, so that's a full 6 stack now. We'll move our hero to there. And now we have some money. So the main thing that I'm noticing right now is our money situation is very good, 200 a turn. What we want to do is start looking for ways to build buildings that produce draft so we can get more armies out. The Smiths Guild would be one way to do that, but the Wildlife Sanctuary is another one that could be good. It gives us more units to build too. 5 draft per adjacent province with a forest. We don't have a lot of forests around us. I guess down here we do, but that's an Eastwatch. Yeah, that's not going to work for us. Lord's Manor is just a good building, but kind of expensive and takes a lot of turns to build. I guess we'll just go ahead and build the mint for now. We need a conduit in order to get that, but our mana situation is fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and build the mint, and then we'll just be able to use our gold to race some of these things. So for example, that can get completed, and that instantly fixes a lot of those issues we were having. And then this city probably needs to get some generic walls built. So that won't take very long. The outposts I don't care so much about. We're working on the marketplace here. So this is good for now. And then I can start building some of these units up. I think I would like another one of those. And perhaps... yeah, we'll just get a couple more of those archer units. Cool, we finally got our research done. Aspect of the Root is a really powerful bonus for shield units, keeping them in the fight for a significant portion of time. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then his armies retreated into the Fog of War. We're basically healed back up. Come to think of it, looks like we have a lot of archer units. I might probably should have casted some shield units, but instead of casting shield units, we could summon some powerful shield units. So let's go and do that. So that's going to take a couple of turns before we'll get them, but the question is, do we want to come down and around this way or down and around that way? I think going this way is going to be preferable. Just so our armies can sort of meet up and go together. Oh wow, she is sending a huge force over there. Okay, so this is one of those situations where having extra Rally of Lieges is really helpful, because what we can do is I can reinforce a vassal. And so that vassal is her. So we can give her a bunch of military units that will add to her pool of defenders and hopefully help reduce the push of this army that seems to be coming across that way. That did use up a bunch of our gold for the turn, but that's okay. Before I move these guys forward, let's see how far down we can move these armies. Okay. So I can get to that mine. I think we'll just kind of group up on this road. And then we'll move down together. Cities that share border with the Throne City gain 10% in all types of income. That could be really good. We only have a border with Eastwatch at the moment, though, so not ideal for this map. Our alignment has boosted back up to good, so that's good to know. Not 100% sure what caused that, but I'm okay with it. We still have a little bit of gold to spend this turn. I can rush the production of those walls, and I haven't really looked at Eastwatch, so Eastwatch has just a ton of mines, it looks like. So I could build the Rune Carver's camp or the Wildlife Sanctuary down here, or a levy camp. So if we build a levy camp down here, it would actually give us a point to spawn units that's closer to the front lines. So maybe we do that. I need more. Okay, so if we attract a population here, grab that, and then build, is it the levy camp that I want? The Wildlife Sanctuary, the Sacred Meadow. This one gives a morale boost to armies that walk through it for 5 turns. This one gives more draft and unlocks the animal units. The levy camp is the only one that's going to give us the ability to deploy units to it. Oh no, the Rune Carver camp does as well. Alright, let's just go ahead and do this one here. Alright, so I have a feeling we're going to be leaving the end of this video on a cliffhanger. Yep, those armies are there. Hopefully they hold out long enough for my reinforcements to arrive. It'll take 2 turns for those armies to deploy over there. She's actually moving her armies to the south. So yeah, if those 7 units can hold out. I don't know what those guys are doing. Okay, keep the train moving. She fell in a fight. That's unfortunate. I don't know how many turns it will take them to siege this and take it over, but those units that will pop up there will... Yeah, they're not going to be able to stop this, though. Darn it. They should have waited. I was a little slow on the draw there. Okay, so here's an interesting time to talk about this spell again. Every faction gets these. It basically applies your civic bonus, in our case stand together, to all non-feudal units. And you can see we have 5 units that are non-feudal. If we mouse over this, it'll show us. It's mostly the animals and the brewer ogres. We also have 4 ranged units that are not considered feudal, including our glade runners, which are pretty powerful tier 2, tier 3 archers, and then 2 support units. This is going to take a significant amount of mana upkeep, but once we cast it, all those units are going to get significantly more powerful and will work well with our strategies that we're already using. I do have the ability to cast this now. We were going to give her a couple of these entwined protectors. Get the tavern built there. And I wanted to cast another entwined protector, but I think aspect of the root is going to be more valuable in the short term. So we'll go ahead and get that cast first. Just looking at our upkeeps, we're still doing really good on both mana and gold. And we'll do one more turn. This will sort of set up the fight for next video. Those units should pop up in her territory here. So they're not actually going to siege that down, huh? They're going to give her a chance to recover. Let's see if they popped up. Yep, there they are. So there's the 4 units that we summoned for them. So in a couple of turns, she's going to recover, and she'll be back with a stack of 5. Granted, these aren't very powerful units, but if they had been able to show up to that fight, it might have been able to turn it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our furthest unit as far forward as we can, and then sort of move everybody up from there. It's going to take us probably maybe 1.5 more turns to start sieging this city. Okay, I've got another Glade Guard. I thought I had 2 of those. I think Eastwatch was going to take an extra turn. They didn't have as much draft. That can be completed. Let's work on the Arcane Institute. That's too expensive to rush, but that's not. Get that completed now. With the 2 archers, let's get some frontline units, and we'll just get some pikemen that can level up. So I'll get 1 pikeman here, 1 pikeman here, or maybe a warrior. Let's just do, let's do a warrior, and then from our main city, we could go with a bannerman. And that'll produce a new stack for us that we could group up at some point and use to either defend our territory if they send anybody over there. I still have a little extra movement here. This unit has some extra movement. Let's move them forward and see. I don't see anything else nearby. So it looks like that's all he has. All right. Aspect of the route is ready to launch. So we definitely want to keep an eye on our mana production as we're casting these spells. We'll summon another Entwined Protector. And we finally got to a new tier here. So let's see. Hold on a second. I've got a lot of messages coming through my phone at the moment. Okay. I'll check those out here in just a minute. All cities gain 1 population, or provinces that get annexed produce a animal unit. Both of those are pretty good. Plus 20 allegiance with free cities, or shock units level up faster. I really like that one, and we have a ton of Imperium. Let's go ahead and do that. This is going to allow our pikemen to level up super quick into tier 2 shield units between all the bonuses we have. So, and then let's go ahead and end the video because we're 10 minutes over an hour, so this is a good time. So we've set up the fight for next video. This is going to be hopefully Mr. Moleman's last stand or final demise in his case, but we're going to take out the Moleman and then turn our attentions towards the city to the west who was attacking one of our vassals. So we got to get revenge for that, but that's where we're going to end today. So hopefully you're enjoying the series. I will hopefully have time to do another one tonight, so we'll do double videos for the next couple of days to try to get this one finished off before I go on vacation. And then I'll have to decide how much I want to continue to do this series, but I'm really enjoying playing this game on camera and really enjoying some of the feedback that I'm starting to get from people who are watching the series. So if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comment section below. If you get a chance to jump in and watch me live, I do try to keep an eye on the chat and will comment on that as well. And until next time, this has been The Nose Plays, and you guys have a great day.